You think the Naruto TCG will be successful? I haven't seen the gameplay mechanics, but just off the IP alone and the art, I'm sure it'll do well with collectors and scalpers. But as for like an actual competitive TCG, I'll have to see its mechanics. I'm guessing it'll be probably pretty similar to the One Piece. Bandai card games follow similar formulas, like with Gundam and One Piece. Like, they have overlapping ideas, so I imagine it'll be kind of familiar. What's a TCG that hasn't been ruined? Like by scalpers? Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Is unscalpable. You can't. They reprint things too much. You will never be able to successfully scalp Yu-Gi-Oh! No matter how hard you try. And make no mistake, Logan Paul's fucking trying. Yeah, I still have to try the Digimon TCG. I know a little bit about it. The cards look cool. I haven't actually played it, though. There's that Pal World TCG as well. That's true. Pal World's got their own TCG coming out, too. Legit everything getting TCGs. I know. On one hand, I really like it because I am just such a big TCG player. But on the other hand, most of them are trash. Like, actually trash. Remember MetaZoo? I do! MetaZoo was just a little too early. If they released during the TCG slop era that we're in right now, they'd still be around. They were just, ooh, they were just a smidge too soon.
Today, we are going to be taking a look at the MetaZoo Spellbook.
150, 180, and 180.
Today, we have world-famous DJ Steve Aoki,
Yeah.
along with his co-founder in MetaZoo, Mike Waddell.
Yep.
I've looked into cryptids on occasion. I like the sense of adventure that comes with them. I like that. I think a lot of people gravitated to that, but then Rudy got a box.
So that's 360, that's 500. That's a tax loss.
Episode 119 of
Should I open it or should I keep it sealed?
Hi there. I just sent an email about an unfulfilled pledge. I never...
Man, the MetaZoo story actually is kind of a wild one if you're not familiar with it. I haven't seen this video covering it, but MetaZoo, this was, again, just a little before the TCG hysteria kicked off. MetaZoo had like a ton of hype around it, a ton of like buzz. Shit, when I was doing P.O. Box openings, there were some people that loved MetaZoo so much they would just send me some MetaZoo boxes and shit. And then it all collapsed. Like, just completely collapsed. Pretty much overnight.
actually received anything from backing this. Now I notice you are giving away a Kickstarter box as a prize, but I still haven't received my pledge. I haven't received anything.
Here.
I have now been banned from...
Here's the explanation.
If you've ever been curious about the unknown creatures of our world, Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, MetaZoo promised to explore the wild world of cryptids, animals or other beings whose existence isn't proven. It took very clear inspiration from Pokemon, featuring Sugimori-esque watercolor art on its cards, chiptune Game Boy-inspired audio and promotional works, and full Pokedex-like lists of all its species.
Oh my
as the
god,
monster.
I forgot about that. Yo, I forgot about it's pretty cute. It's like actually cute. Genuinely just like a wholesome idea. Oh, I totally forgot. They had their own fucking map, their own little Pokedex.
Of all its beasties, as the monsters were called. Launched in the throes of the COVID-19 pandemic, it looked like a cute little creature collector with fun art that could scratch the itch for several hobby-starved gremlins cooped up in their apartments. Again, I was an original backer, so this is not me throwing shade. I was one of those gremlins too. And there is a reason why
So
MetaZoo
many people
inspired
were.
me to back it, as was brought to my attention from a comment I got on the first edition of this video. Thank you sincerely for reminding me to include this point. MetaZoo was special. They appeared at the right moment of time, the inflection point of trading card games big and small.
See, and that's where I really disagree. Like, you could argue that they came up at the perfect time because it wasn't as saturated as it is now. But if they came up now, they would be kept afloat by just waves upon waves of hopium, scalping, and just degeneracy. Which, bad for anyone that wants to actually collect and play the game, but good for the companies. They came up at a time where TCGs weren't in the state they are right now, and they couldn't hold on long enough to see it to this side. They just missed it. Just missed it.
Big and small. And in a market saturated by large IPs, to stand out and gain traction with an original idea is a huge feat. The brilliance of MetaZoo was finding a concept that already has mass recognition and appeal, but doesn't require expensive IP. Cryptids were the perfect vessel for this, as elusive real-life creatures that may or may not exist have captured the cultural zeitgeist in storytelling for as long as humans have been able to tell stories. I mean, look at this guy. Don't you want him? I don't want to discount the genius of the idea at all, but it is this sky-high potential that made the eventual downward spiral so dispiriting. One of the original components that drew people in was the main gimmick, the thing that put the meta in MetaZoo. Your card effects would be influenced by your real-world surroundings. That is not a joke. This could be as simple as being close to a body of water allows you to play a certain card, or even if you break out a good cry, you might find yourself with an effect bonus. Obviously, there are immediate issues that come up due to this sort of effect.
God, it's so good. If you are crying tears, Squonk has... I don't know what that symbol is. If any opposing caster cries tears, Squonk appreciates the sympathy and leaves the arena. Place Squonk in the afterlife. And then you get a tribal boost where this page gains plus 10 LP and its attacks gain plus 10 damage for every beastie fearsome critter in the arena. Drowning Sorrows 30. Yeah, as you can probably tell, I never learned how to play the game. Oh my god, that's so cute, though. I can only imagine what tournaments would have looked like. Well, I don't think it was ever meant to be competitive. Another one of its downfalls, I will say. Even if you are just making, like, throwaway schlock TCG shit, it still has to have, like, some type of ability to play seriously. If you still have those packs, you should try it for skill check. I can look for them. I'm sure I have them somewhere. I never got rid of anything that someone sent me. So I've still got them somewhere. I'll try and take a peek.
Bonus. Obviously, there are immediate issues that come up due to this sort of effects rulings for competitive play, such as what exactly constitutes crying? Do you need to be bellowing a river of tears? Or if your eyes well up and get a little shiny, does that count? But for a kitchen table game, the mechanic was certainly unique. This past year, I fell back in love with trading card games, and I thought I would do a little check-in on that little Kickstarter that could and see what happened to it, and...
Oh, no.
Oh.
What?
Oh my. So despite still maintaining a small collection of my cards from the initial Kickstarter, I bought some more. And I thought it would be fun to crack a few packs on camera while we delve into the history of the now defunct card game, because I have access to a
I'm pretty sure one of the packs I have is this one.
resource that only 254 other people in the world have. The original Kickstarter page, full of blog posts from founder Michael Waddell that detail the process of delivering a Kickstarter product. I also want to clarify something ahead of time. I'm critical in this video, yes, but only with the clarity of hindsight. I have no doubt that starting and running a company comes with
God, it's such an interesting story on MetaZoo, man. This just reminded me, I just learned that there's a guy in Tampa who made a TCG. I went to one of my shops recently. What the fuck was the name of it? And they were talking about it. Hold on. It's all about ants. It's an ant TCG. What the fuck is it? It looks like Hollow Knight art. It's like Scabbies? Super Scabs? Come on, does anyone know what I'm talking about? Or do I just sound like an insane person? That guy got it, Shard Bugs. I knew it started with an S. That's the name of it, Shard Bugs. Yes, this is the one. It reminded me of MetaZoo when I saw it in the store.
What's up, everybody? Kyle with the Chase Yokundu Center Point, aka Steve Osminkowski. I believe I've said it right.
I don't know how the
We've
game's
got
doing
a
or
Blessing of
anything,
Luna.
but I saw it and it
We've got two blessings.
immediately
a blessing of
invoked
Mars.
thoughts of MetaZoo.
So this indicates rarity, and these are the sample cards. They don't have the same rarity stamping anymore. The number of these now in the new packs will be the number you can include in your deck. We have a cloth moth.
Oh, I guess it's not ants. Okay, I was misremembering. I think it's just any bugs. Yeah, I guess it's just any bugs. Who drew the art? I have no idea. The artist is probably on it. It says art by, looks like that says Zodland, maybe? Shardbugs Jackpot Insane Rare Pulls. Let's see what an insane rare pull is here. Damn, he hit the Mars and the Worm Warrior. Once per turn, deal 3 damage to target bug. Is Mars is that a bug? That feels like a god or something. What's he doing here fighting ants and bot flies? Just malfight. Yeah, I don't know why he's in there fighting insects. You think PSA printing slabs for shard bugs? I doubt it. But who really knows? Maybe shard bugs is doing amazing. I only just heard about it when I went to one of my LGSs recently. I mean, it's cool though that a local Tampa guy made it. He apparently owns like a construction company or something. He does this because he just loves TCGs, so he made his own. Sounded like a wholesome story. Hide this from Logan Paul. Can you imagine? Yu-Gi-Oh's not working out for him, obviously. So he's like, all right, you know what? We gotta find the next one. It's fucking shard bugs. How does Alestrals do? A-Drives? I don't know, it's a good question. How does Alestrals do? Seems like they're very active. I don't know. I haven't seen them for sale at any of my LGSs, so I'm not really sure. Now we're getting into the niche shit. Alestrals isn't that niche. It had an extremely big Kickstarter. It had like a 1.5 million or something Kickstarter backing. But I'm not sure how it's doing today. It seems like it's doing fine though, just based off of like this first page. Oh, here's an interesting video. Which new TCGs will survive long term?
In the last 5 or so years, there's
Where's Shardbugs? Actually, what does he
been a
consider the big
massive
three?
proliferation of new trading card games.
Yu-Gi-Oh,
I'm thinking
Magic,
about this
Pokemon.
specifically now because the Cyberpunk TCGs Kickstarter recently came out and has crossed like a massive threshold already of like $15 million or something.
Oh, this is 2 months, okay. The fucking Cyberpunk TCG Kickstarter, it finished at like what, 30 million or something crazy? It was huge.
Like that. And I think that obviously that's exciting for fans of Cyberpunk, but it is also potentially a little worrying if you're
I backed it. You can play it when you come over, Scoots. We have the alpha cards if you want to learn it.
someone who's concerned about whether or not there's a TCG bubble.
28 million, actually
are
insane.
A follower
yeah.
of kind of general TCG content on YouTube, you are likely aware of Distraction Makers. It's a podcast run by a couple of game designers. Really interesting. I recommend watching if you haven't, but they have an episode specifically about whether or not we are currently in a TCG bubble. And in
the answer is resoundingly yes, I have to imagine. Let me see if he's got any shard bugs on here. Oh, he talks about One Piece. One Piece will survive long term, I think. I imagine he'll reach that same conclusion too, because it's got an extremely healthy competitive scene. So even outside of the scalpers and shit, and the obvious, like, collecting, it is a really good competitive 1v1 card game. Flesh and Blood also fucking cooking. I know Flesh and Blood has a super, super big competitive scene. I haven't learned Flesh and Blood personally, though. Riftbound, I think, is a toss-up. It's an alright game, but it's more of like a tabletop game, like an actual, like a board game, more so than a TCG, if you ask me. Star Wars, I don't know anything about. Sorcery, I don't know anything about. And then here he gets into Union Arena, Digimon, and it looks like Cyberpunk. Surprised he didn't touch on Lorcana. No one plays Lorcana. That's just not true. I fucking watched the Lorcana tournament like 2 months ago for some reason. Probably because I saw the Lorcana cheating videos, but I tuned into one. I don't like it. I just do not really like Lorcana. I'm not the biggest Disney guy in general, but the card game seems really boring. Is Keyforge still alive? I remember that one being kind of unique. I'm just watching a trailer for Try Keyforge, basically. Nice. Why did Magic fall off so hard? I remember Post Malone buying that card for like 5 mil. Haven't heard about it since. Then you're just not paying attention. It just had its biggest year ever this year. Or, sorry, last year. And it's not even close. So even though the Universe Beyond shit's getting unbearably cringe, it's doing extremely well. They're still making bank off the Final Fantasy set. They're fucking making bank off of me from their Lord of the Rings Special Edition set. That's such a good set, and I can't stop opening those boxes, bro. They're saying scalpers basically are required for smaller card games to survive. No one wants to buy packs to stay relevant in the meta and risk not getting anything good. I don't know who's saying that, but I can see that argument. I don't even fully disagree with it either. It's kind of what I was saying about MetaZoo. In your opinion, what's the best IP right now to make a new TCG? None. I think, and I don't think it's a good idea, but what I would like to see personally is just another unique TCG. Something that follows like Yu-Gi-Oh! There is genuinely no other TCG like Yu-Gi-Oh! But now there's a million TCGs like Magic, or like One Piece at this point. Inscription was kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh! In a way, I can see that. Like, in a way. Make God Slap TCG, and then when the movie comes out, give away cards at theaters like Pokemon did with the first movie. Cute idea, but nah. If I was to ever do a TCG, I'd want it to be something wholly unique. Not based on an IP, not even God Slap. I really want a fucking another Yu-Gi-Oh! Style TCG. But they just don't exist. Only Yu-Gi-Oh! Can scratch that itch.